Well, folks, good afternoon. I have a story to tell you that might be unbelievable. But I believe it was Monday. I had jury duty. And while I was there waiting in the seating area for the prospective 200, 300 jurors to be called, I was watching a PBS channel on my tablet, and it was called something Credible UFO Incidences, and it got me thinking about something that happened to me in the summer of '85. Now, I know how ridiculous this is going to sound. I know how embarrassing it is also for me to tell this story, because when I hear somebody tell me something like that, I think they're freaking loony or lying or exaggerating or something. But the truth remains that I did see something, and I was with a girlfriend at the time as well, and we both saw something. So let me tell you the story. It was the summer of 1985. I was living in a city called Tarpon Springs, Florida, which is just north of Clearwater, Florida. My girlfriend and I wanted to go to Daytona Beach. There was spring break. I think I was 23. My girlfriend, was 1 year younger than me. So we took the drive. We went up to Clearwater. We cut over, I think, on the Howard Franklin Bridge, went through Tampa, and then we got on Interstate 4. And then you get to Interstate, once you got on Interstate 4, you get over to Orlando, and then you cut slightly north to Daytona, blah, 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 blah. Had a great time there, and we left there rather late. We left there about 2 in the morning. And so we drove home. The roads are pretty empty. We left Daytona, got to Orlando, and then we got on 4 again. And we're in the middle of nowhere. We've got acres of pine trees on our north side, that would be our right side, and pretty much can see completely down the horizon on our left. And I'm going to ask you a question. What do you see here? Now, right now, what do you see? Many people say, oh, a pan. I'm not saying what is it. I'm saying, what do you see? You see an edge. Well, that evening, the moon was out, and it was a very light blue sky. And I'm driving. We're in the middle of nowhere, and off to the distance, I would say about, if I was to put my fingers out and line it up with the horizon, I would say about 2 or 3 fingers high was a perfectly straight line. It didn't have the sheen of the light that's on the camera. It was just a black line in the sky. And I would say it was about a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile away. I don't know why I say that, but that's just the feeling I got inside of me. And what struck me out about this black silhouette, this black line, was how straight it was. I then turned my attention on the road because I didn't think it was really anything per se, just, you know, a funky cloud or something. And I drove for about another 1/4 mile, half mile, and I looked to the south again. That'd be my left. Remember, we're driving west on 4 towards Tampa. And that line is bigger. The line is a little bit bigger. It's still a perfectly black silhouette. And the line is perfectly straight. I'm like, I didn't say anything to my girlfriend at the time. Just weird, something weird, you know, out there. Who knows? You know, I didn't think anything about UFOs at the time. I drive about another half a mile. And this line now is really close to us. And then I decided to pull over. I mean, I would say it's about 9 o'clock, 9:30-ish actually. I'm pointing up there, but it was about 9:30-ish in the sky. I pulled over, told my girlfriend, hey, check this out. We both got out of the vehicle. We turned the keys off. And at that time, here's the line. And at that time, it gets over us. It's starting to, actually. It's getting about the 10, 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock would be directly over us. And we're going to start to see underneath it. And what we saw was a perfectly black silhouette. That's all I can say. No windows or anything. So what we saw now was a perfectly black silhouette, you know, at this angle to us, but it was really high. And then it was just slowly moving. I mean, literally in the sky, it was moving this fast. At that time, it's 11 o'clock, it's almost over our head, and all we saw was, again, I'm repeating myself, a black silhouette now of this disc. And this black silhouette, a perfect circle, was making absolutely no sound at all. I could hear no sound hitting it, reverberation bouncing off of it. My girlfriend and I are talking to each other. We're calm, we're not drugged out or anything like that. We're talking, do you see this, do you see that? We're making each other aware. And what we saw in there is if you actually looked at a normal sky, you would see the random stars. That's what it looked like in here. And that, by this time, it's over our head. And remember, I said it was really moving slowly. By that time, it's over our head. And if you want to get an idea of how big it was, if I was to hold this disc out, the full length of my arm, which is about 2.5 feet, that's how big it was in the sky. That's how big it was in the sky. This is a, what is this? This is a 9-inch diameter pan. That's about how big it was in the sky. I'd say it was about 1,500 feet up in the air. And the thing was huge. It was about the size of a football stadium. From my perspective, that is how high it was. Gauging on where it started in the horizon, about 3 fingers high. When it moved towards me, it didn't seem to go down at all. It didn't seem to go up. So looking at this base was like looking at the normal nighttime black sky with just a couple of random stars in it. It was the weirdest thing. I wouldn't even call them lights. They look more like just random twinkling stars. Again, no sounds. It didn't stop. No green men came at me. I didn't lose time. The lights in the car didn't start flickering. Things just moving really slow over the sky. Like I said, inside of it was just a perfect black silhouette with random stars. They looked identical to twinkling stars. And this silhouette is just moving this slow over our heads. Perfectly smooth movement. Then keeps traveling at a northerly route, and just goes over the tall pine trees. And like I said, it's about 1,000 feet up, 1,500 feet up, and just keeps going. We never saw it again. This is the summer of '85. My girlfriend and I got back in the car. We're really excited. We're talking about what we saw. We're confirming what we saw, you know, because you hear about people getting kind of hypnotized in a way by the awe of the experience. Not so much as hypnotized by little green men, but just the awe of the experience. It's like witnessing a murder. You're just in awe. You know, that we didn't want to be trapped into that hypnotization, that whatever. So we talked about it, you know, on the way back home, got to Clearwater, skirted down US 19 to Tarpon Springs, got home, blah, 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 went to bed. The next morning woke up, turned on the news, and there was reports of strange sightings over the Florida skies. Now in Tampa Bay, there's MacDill Air Force Base. So we were actually kind of close to MacDill Air Force Base. I'd say about 2 hours out. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, some spokesperson got on the television back then from MacDill Air Force Base, and he had an explanation what the people of Florida saw that evening. And his explanation was so ridiculous. It was so absurd. He stated what the people witnessed was a satellite breaking up back into our atmosphere and falling into the ocean near Australia. Yeah, Australia. That's on the other side of the hemisphere. And I looked at my girlfriend, and she looked at me. She goes, "No, what we saw was directly above us. What we saw was not an exploding fireball or anything like that. What we saw was a perfectly black silhouette. It started out as a line, and then as it got over us, we saw the underneath belly of it, and then it, and then it went over the other side of us. It was quiet. It was large. It was moving very smoothly and slowly for its size. That is, with purpose. It wasn't just crashing." So that's my story, and as ridiculous as that sounds, and I do realize how crazy that is. But you look at any of my other videos, none of my other videos have ever dealt with any kind of bullcrap like this kind of strangeness. I don't believe in the Hollow Earth. I don't believe in Planet X. I don't believe that, it's just one thing that just happened to happen to me in my lifetime back in 1985. And I know how ridiculous that sounds, and I realize I'm probably going to get a bunch of hate comments and probably a lot of thumbs down on this video, dislikes on this video, but it's the truth. And I don't know what to say. It's embarrassing. I know a lot of people will not believe this ridiculous story, but it is the truth. You folks have a great day. I need to reach behind this old school camera and turn it off. My good camera broke, and I don't have $400 to go and blow right now on a new camera getting this close to Christmas time. But I'm going to use this old school camera for a while, and pardon me while I reach behind there and to turn off the power button. Take care, folks.